What's up, everybody? It's your main man, Bennett, back here and again. That's a slam dunk I did in here. Welcome back to the All About It program. We appreciate you tuning in today, wherever you may be tuning in, whether it's your car, whether it's your headphones, perhaps in a crowded restaurant, and you're sitting with a good friend and you're listening to the conversation that you're having with them, but you're also listening to the show as well. Do people do that?
No.
No, they don't. Thank God we're not in this alone. 2021 is a brand new year full of scary, daunting thoughts and feelings, but also inspirational ones. And here is one of the inspirational ones in the flesh. It's Arielle.
Oh my God, hi. When's the last time you were in a crowded restaurant?
Yeah, and sometimes when we get into talking on this show, I start going a direction. I go somewhere, and I don't know where I'm going until I get there, and then I go, how did I get at this gas station?
I remember going to a place called Urban Sea in Encinitas for brunch.
Oh.
And it was the Sunday morning of the week that lockdown started.
I remember this as well.
Then we went straight to Beach's pop-up.
Beautiful establishment, by the way.
It's gorgeous.
Urban Sea.
What's the guy's name? Malarkey?
Yes, Chef
Brian
Malarkey. Shout out Brian Malarkey. # Brian Malarkey.
It was really good. Crudo. I don't know why I said that.
Food, especially when you're at a nice restaurant, it's just, you can't cook it yourself. And the service is so good. And they make you feel like you belong there, and then you pay them and you leave and you regret it.
I got a grapefruit mimosa. That was also the last time I had one of those.
Probably one of my favorite kinds of mimosas is a grapefruit mimosa.
I will lift my phone for the week in review on episode 106.
It's true.
Right?
That is what today's episode yields.
Bargles, were you aware that tomorrow is the 2-year anniversary of All About It podcast launching?
Little clap. We were out in the ether, just in the audio space, and now we've entered the visual and audio, both combined together as one. No one asked us, no one told us, and we'll find out years from now it was the best thing that anyone never did want.
Right, it was your idea to do YouTube, for sure.
Was it?
Yeah, you pushed us to do it, and I'm so glad you did. Eyebrows, yep. And we're good. Okay, so I just had to mention our little birthday coming up tomorrow on January 8th.
January 8th is All About It Day?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we talked a lot about starting the podcast on our honeymoon. Do you remember that?
I do.
We'd be laying on the beach, as you do in Italy.
This was when? October?
No, it
September.
Was end of August into September of 2018.
That's right.
And you were like, I don't know if I should keep Kicking It Tough going, which was your debut podcast back in the day.
Right. I just got rid of that.
We love a good Kicking It Tough.
Right.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
And
hey, like the biblical story of Lazarus. Maybe Kicking It Tough will raise from the dead? Is that Lazarus?
I truly do not know. Mom, comment below. Mom will know.
I don't know what it is I'm saying when I say it most times.
It's fine. And that's a trait of mine. For
the people way in the back, Kicking It Tough, I did a podcast called Kicking It Tough by myself. Can you imagine how gross of an idea was that?
I listened to every episode. It was very insightful, and I feel like not of this world. I feel like you went on your little...
Yeah, it's gone now. I officially, because now I'm trying to save money. I'm trying to find money everywhere. I'm lifting up rocks and uncovering ways to save.
I found $5 in my passport folder thing.
Give it to me.
I haven't opened my passport thing in over a year.
Give it to me, and I'll put it with the other fivers. I got a couple of 5 spots I'm trying to put together. For the grandkids of the future.
Right.
I want a bunch of fivers.
Yeah.
Just to be like, here, go to the movies.
I don't know if we mentioned this on the podcast, but I had a really rough emotional day over Christmas week, and I found a $5 bill. I put it in a sorry card and put it in an envelope, and I licked the envelope, and then I gave the envelope to Bargles, and it said, "I'm sorry" in it. And he has $5.
Well, I didn't actually ever say. Well, I said thank you for the card, but you never needed to apologize for feeling how you feel. But I will never stop you from apologizing for something that you probably don't need to apologize for.
I really didn't need to. I was just having a really emotional
No, you didn't need to.
week.
No. I'm a firm believer, though, of apologize even when you shouldn't or don't need to, or you didn't even do anything wrong. Because it kind of like cut to the chase, right? Like, why are we going to linger? Why are we going to linger around when we could just cut to the chase? Move on.
I'm going through something personally that is changing my life a little bit, and I gave myself a pass for the emotional state I was in. So, okay. Now.
Do you want to share what's going on? Okay.
No,
Sorry.
Nope.
Okay.
Maybe later. What day is it? I literally put in my note, what day is it? Because this is the week where everyone's like, what day is it? It's Christmas, New Year's. But we're kind of past that now, right?
Are you asking me what day it is today? Like,
it's kind of a joke.
Well, today we are recording today's show on Thursday, which is a great day of the week. Is that behind the great and powerful Oz looking behind the curtain?
No, I mean, I said that tomorrow is our anniversary and that it's the 8th.
Right. So we're kind of like time flip-flopping here. But today in real world is Thursday. The 7th.
Okay. All I'm saying is that it's just getting it back into the groove, getting into the New Year groove. Yeah. I did feel like kind of waking up on the 1st, I felt energized and excited a little bit, but then I also had this lingering sad feeling because we're still in pandemic mode, and I felt sad. Like, I felt a weight of sadness, not only inside myself but from other people too.
Sure. Like,
I felt sad, and it kind of was what I felt like in April when we would like sleep in and like not be in a rush to like get to normal life because we were still adjusting to being in such a lockdown mode.
Yeah.
And I would watch that Some Good News show with John Krasinski.
That had a good run. Yeah.
And I think we watched 2 episodes, and at the end of each episode I cried like both times. By the way, someone in the comments on our Bright Side of 2020 video wrote in saying that she also cried at the end of The Mandalorian and she didn't know what it was about, and she said she did the exact same thing I did.
You know, it's a emotional show.
Shout out to my girl.
Dinjardine.
I see you. I cry with you. Thank you for commenting. Also, if anyone wants to comment on our YouTube channel, there you go. Feel free. Okay, get back to work. We want to get organized. We want to save some money, get rid of old podcast websites, right? Monday, I was good on the 4th, and then it went downhill.
See, I was going to say, when you were mentioning back in April that, things kind of felt like they started to feel a little different. I remember there was a stretch of time, at least around here, where the weather was nasty.
So gross.
So it's kind of like everything, the weather kind of felt
we are so lucky, and let me just say, like, it is nice 70% of the time. Yeah. But when it's not nice here, we mean like it's muggy and dark.
Sure. So like the irony on top of the, like, we're feeling
the weather reflected.
The weather was an adequate reflection.
Right.
And little did we know in April that that would not be even remotely the worst parts of the year.
I never really knew what to think. I never had any expectations. I don't know.
What I was going to say was, around that time, I donated. I shouldn't even use the word donated.
What?
I like took the 7 days of the week, and I basically was like, nope. Not happening. I feel like things have gotten so much better in my expectations and my perspective, especially in the past few months. Although the holidays, I really feel like I kind of reverted back to that.
Right.
But now, January 2021, I still have about 1 day a week that's still in the basement,
Yeah,
metaphorically.
totally.
And
I'm
I don't
with
get to
you.
pick what day it is. Could be a Tuesday, could be a Wednesday. Probably not a Tuesday, because Tuesday's the best damn day of the week, and Friday a run for its money. Put that on a shirt. And I look at it like, maybe this week it's Friday, and I don't even know. Maybe tomorrow is the day where nothing happens.
Right.
So why would I? I'm not going to handicap myself emotionally because of what I do or do not do, at least right now with.
I think we could all take a lesson
So,
from you, Bargles.
giving a little bit of the.
There goes all your fives.
Yeah, no, these are like
your
strip
fives?
club dollar bills, but it's Grace.
That's the second time we said strip club or stripper 2 episodes in a row.
Just making it rain with Grace.
Hey,
and patience, and that's not the name of the strippers. That's just
Oh.
metaphorical grace
It could be.
for you. Oh,
It
and for
could be.
and for you.
Oh.
And for you. Give that to your son, and give that also.
Oh my god. Okay, this has been bugging me all day for some reason. Who was the famous guy that got punched in the face in New York City?
Rick Moranis, final answer.
Oh my god. Okay. Guys, I don't know why I woke up and I was like, who was the random celebrity that's like kind of not around anymore who got punched in the face on the streets of New York?
You know why he's not around?
Why?
Okay, well, do you have a handkerchief to blot the
No,
tears
is it
away?
bad? Is it like
I could be wrong,
okay?
but I'm very confident.
Okay.
I'm like seeking out the data in
Did
my
he
mind.
do something weird?
No, the reason why he left Hollywood and acting was to take care of his children because his wife either got really sick or she passed away.
It's horrible.
So that's why he loves
Oh.
being a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
I think he's been in a couple commercials lately, and there's some talks of him doing some stuff, but he definitely has his priorities in the correct order.
I always loved the Shrunk the Kids stuff.
Oh yeah, and then Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh,
or,
yeah,
or
that's right.
he had a great little bit on the old school Ghostbusters movies. He was
That's
great.
right.
He was good. So,
Good callback, Bargles.
Usually
Anyway.
the metaphor that I see with Wayne Zelinsky, aka Rick Moranis,
Mm-hmm.
is you ask the question, "Where's he been? What have they been doing? What are they up to?" And
I did that with Brendan Fraser today. I was
Yeah.
like, who was George of the Jungle? And Bargles was like, Brendan Fraser. And I'm like,
he's
wow.
a working actor. He's a working
Wow.
actor. He's
I
on
don't-
that show, like the Defenders or the
Okay.
something. He's on some sort
Is that
of
Marvel?
superhero squad of
Okay.
some kind. He plays like a
Alright.
big robot.
Okay.
Plays a robot guy. You know,
I know a lot about
hey,
robots.
you dig for answers. You might just uncover some.
There you go.
So, and Brendan Fraser, we need more from you. I think that's really what my wife is getting at. Is it's like George of the Jungle must have really left an impact because he was in a loincloth, had some nice six-pack abs.
That's right.
Am I right? Or am I wrong?
Long hair. Basically Tarzan, but his name is George. So,
Way more attainable.
way more attainable.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's all I got.
Well, I'll ask you this.
All right.
What else is attainable? Well, in this life, there's a lot of things that cost money. Some things are free. And the All About It podcast happens to be one of the free ones.
That's right.
We do not charge any price, nor should we, because I think that would be theft.
Absolutely.
This actually, we might need to start paying you
I agree.
to watch this show. We've considered it.
Yeah.
I think that would then make it a fair trade.
What do you think? Like $100 per person?
Yeah,
Okay.
per show.
Yeah.
So I mean, we can't afford that.
Well, let's forget buying a house
Yeah.
and have to pay everyone to just listen and watch.
See, you're joking. I think that it'd be a good effort. It would be a good effort there. But obviously, this show, it would be nothing without the people that are listening to it or watching it now on YouTube and also on Instagram and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nothing, I say. Nothing. And people have a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas about the show, about you, about me, about, Bargles Man 5000 back here and again. And I don't know how to address them all. But then again, what is today's episode all about?
Today's episode is all about Assumptions Part 2. Part 2.
That's a bullseye.
I'm so happy for you.
Well,
I have a feeling that you're going to fire off some assumptions that I requested on Instagram.
You know what's great about assumptions is the first 3 letters.
IELTS.
Yes.
The train went by right when I said IELTS.
Yeah, well, the train might even have there might even be an assumption about the train. So, I mean...
Get your head out of the gutter.
If you're a longtime fan of the show, you might recall we had an episode all about assumptions. Once Upon a Time was actually episode 25. You can go back in the archives, check it out.
Can you believe it was 25?
There is no visual representation for that
No,
episode, but we did go over some assumptions. These assumptions, I believe, are completely different than those assumptions.
There might be one.
Also, that episode 25 would have taken place, what, a year and a half ago. So everything that was true then is probably not true anymore.
Yeah, we changed that much within a year and a half.
We had a different mic stand then.
It.
Different mic stand then. Different computer then.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't drinking as many sparkling ice drinks.
Oh, frick.
Or White Claws.
I had way too much caffeine the past 3 days, and I can't get to sleep. I need to cool it. And I did it again today. A freaking pound of Celsius before this.
Love a good Celsius.
I know.
So I have 2 lists of some assumptions here. I'm going to share them with you and with you.
Okay.
And we'll see how close some of these actually are to reality.
Okay.
And also, if you have any comments, just go for it. Or if you have any additional assumptions that aren't featured in this episode, hit us in the comment section below, or allaboutitpodcast@gmail.com, or hit us up at allaboutitpodcast on Instagram. So, the first one here, and this was actually said by multiple people, which I think is very good, is that we never fight.
Never.
My favorite one was y'all never fight.
Y'all never fight.
Well, when I start talking nowadays, it's fighting season.
Yeah.
Because she hates it when I start doing voices. When it's just me and her and I'm doing voices, she can't stand her.
Dave.
She does. Oh, now I'm morphing more into Dave.
Dave Ramsey. You actually do a really good Dave Ramsey.
Because you know, every couple needs a spender and a saver.
I'm a spender. He's a saver.
I'm a saver.
Yeah, you are.
I save you every day from your own demise.
Oh my God.
See?
Cool it.
Okay.
So I'm trying to honestly I'm thinking about what we used to fight about and now what the main point of contention is. There's not really a point. Like, it's not like there's always this one problem. I can't even think of one thing that I would want to change about the way that we communicate, the way that we love each other. Like, I can't think of, like, nothing really bothers me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think fighting is the operative word here, and we don't fight. We don't always agree. We're not always in a lovey-dovey kumbaya headspace.
Right. I would say, like, realistically, I would say probably once a month we'll get into, like, a medium bicker that proceeds with a hug, and, like, we don't hold on to stuff. We let that go really quick.
Yeah, I think that the beginning and the end of a fight is there are certain requirements to. I don't even know I can't even call it a fight. I can't remember last time you had a fight.
No,
but you're usually not going to be happy with something,
and I bring it to your attention.
And you bring it to my attention.
Yes.
Then at the end, you also come to me and go, like, I'm better now.
Yeah.
Because
I'm sorry.
I would never bring something to you and then after a conversation come up to you and be like, okay, I feel better now.
You've never done that in my entire life.
It's not in my
I know.
My ribonucleic acids.
And lo and behold, we are different people with different personalities. So
for the assumption.
Do you think that's like once a month, like bickerish? Like,
yeah, and it couldn't have anything to do with any hormonal, situations that customarily happen. Within that, probably within Thanks, Moon. Damn.
Thanks. Hey, Bargles. Thanks, Waves.
Oh. You crack yourself up. You are your favorite comedian.
My sincere apologies from my uterus and I.
Oh well, yeah, okay. Is that written? That's written in pen and ink, like a nice like old World War II letter, like from the front lines, but it's just your own body.
Sir Bargles Roberts, my sincerest accommodations from my uterus and
How's
I.
the farm doing? Tell Grandma Tippy I said hello. We miss her. It's so cold at night.
The orange groves are really thriving.
Okay. How about this one? So we'll
Sure.
y'all never fight.
Okay.
True.
Not true. Yeah, true.
True.
Well, never is never, so it's
I
not
think,
true.
No, I mean it's the answer. The answer is true. We don't fight. Your bestest friends.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Which sometimes can be a pain in
consider
the ass.
Yeah.
That can be a pain in the ass.
You're
Sometimes.
annoying sometimes.
I like really glitchy. We have different likes.
Oh yeah.
There are
We
things
have
that I like
different
that
interests.
you make fun of me for, and there's things you like I make fun of you for, and that's how we find the common ground is by talking smack about each other to each other. So we are good friends.
Yeah.
Best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's a best friend if you can't give them a little, a little smacking about some little minute thing, you know? So, there you go. I'd say yes to that.
Yeah, we are.
We can agree.
Yeah.
Okay. You two are the life of the party.
Like when we get together with friends and go to a party?
I don't think that we are.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think we're the life of it. I'm not the one that's like,
never have been.
Shots! Everyone! Let's straddle the banister and slide down the stairs, you know?
I'm a good fifth piece or like a sixth man off the bench at a party. I'm not a life of the party kind of guy.
Right.
Does the party need resuscitation? Don't call me.
I will say the last time we were at a party where it wasn't lockdown, we played Heads Up and we'd been drinking and we crushed it together. And it was like couples versus couples versus couples, and you and I,
we were on that brave
brave length. I have the bad chair. Wait.
No, you don't.
Either this. Okay, then this chair just broke because of my full body laughs. Oh my god.
Maybe we are the life of the party. I don't know.
See?
We're the life of the party when we leave the party.
Oh my
and then
god.
the party talks about how trash we are as people.
Probably.
Then the party really livens up. Then I think we are the life of the party, even though we are no longer there. So
there you go.
The life of the party, I'm going to say no.
No. I'm going to say no.
You guys are super bubbly all the time and rarely grumpy with each other.
I wouldn't say I'm not grumpy with you. I'm grumpy with myself most of the time.
I think the operative words here are super bubbly and rarely grumpy. And I do believe, yes.
That's you, Bargles.
Every day, yeah.
I
hate bubbly. I don't think like I don't look in the mirror and go, oh hey bubbly, oh looking all bubbly, hey guy.
The way that you say B words like blue, bubble, baby, babe, Bargle, like especially BL or something with a bub. It's like I can't even. I've said this before, but when you say blue, it's like blue.
It's a shame about Kim and Kanye too, isn't it?
All right,
if we want to get topical with it.
Oh my god, I can't even.
And their
handle.
daughter Blue.
Wait, do they have a Blue?
Ivy, or is that Beyonce?
That's
and
Beyonce.
Jay-Z's? I just get all these kids confused.
Wait, is it Blue Ivy?
I don't know.
Or is it Ivy?
I begin talking. I think I'm going somewhere.
So, I would say false.
Okay.
Because I'm, if I'm not on stories and I'm just like going about my daily life, like I'm not always like, hey Bargles, like do a poll with me. Like if I'm in a good mood, like sometimes I am like that with you, but if I'm in a good mood, I take advantage and I like,
right.
show, I'm happy today.
I'll speak for myself in the term rarely grumpy. I am rarely grumpy.
Yeah.
I am very much rarely grumpy. I actually, when I am grumpy, it's usually by choice.
Or you can get kind of hangry.
And for fun.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm ever grumpy, it's usually for fun on purpose.
You've gotten hangry a few times, and then food fixed it, which is, like, the most normal thing. Right. Everyone gets that.
All right. Let's move on to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
The train is the third person in your relationship. And, yeah.
We high-fived during our wedding ceremony, by the way.
We did?
Mm-hmm.
When, why?
Dave was like, because Bargles didn't propose to me until we were like 11 years in or 12 years into our relationship. So he kind of made like a cute joke about how like it's finally here. Like the time has finally come. We're finally getting married. and we high-fived.
I blacked out.
There's a picture of it.
I blacked out twice that day. No, I blacked out just the one time, and I did sincerely like that whole ceremony.
Yeah, me too.
Thank God there's footage of it, because I can't believe it even really
Shout
happened.
out Darcy. Darcy got the best footage of our ceremony. I mean, the whole thing, but like
Darcy's footage, Michelle's footage, like
the actual what do you call them? I keep wanting to say verses. Vows.
The
our
vows.
vows, like,
Right.
we'll never, like, we always have those now. Anyway, you keep going, Bargles. What's the next one?
So the train is the third
Right,
person.
right, yes,
well,
that is true.
Is a train a person? I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to say
it is.
yes. Okay, next. There are endless tickets for whale rides.
That is true.
Is a whale
An
ride?
airplane ride, whale ride. Growing up, we called them whale rides. It's where you would lay on your back, put your feet up in the air, and I would lay my tummy on your feet. Or that's airplane. Whale ride is in the pool.
It is.
Please forgive me. Whale rides are if I were to get on your back in the pool and you swim through the water as
Right.
if you were a whale and I'm the passenger.
Okay.
On your whale body.
Thank you for clarifying
Yeah.
what the term whale ride is. And
Yeah.
nothing to do with Jill's question.
Yeah.
Sounds about the same.
Almost.
That's my whale sound.
Oh my god.
There are not endless tickets.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean,
you're
At some
you're
point-
the one giving me the ride.
yeah, I got knees and a back, and as I age,
All
they
right,
will
all right.
definitely say that this ticket office has temporarily closed.
Fine.
So, you roughhouse a lot.
I don't think so.
Nope.
No.
Moving on. I feel like there's a lot that happens behind the scenes that you don't talk about or show online. And yes, there is. This isn't the Truman Show, although
Yeah.
I do feel like there is more flowing out, and there's more to come, and we
Right.
have kind of starry-eyed plans of being, even more open and showing more and doing more vlog stuff.
But
so
I will say that I think that there are some people who take what I put out there for what it's worth, and they think that that's just it.
yeah, but that's a
like-
fair assumption to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I maybe because I'm in my position, I don't think that about other people. Because I don't know. It's a really
Well, because you
peculiar
feel
position.
like it's so obvious that there's a curtain between being, out in the open with Instagram and everything
Right.
else, and then being behind and feeling like, you know what, I turn it on, turn it off, and I can like
Right.
walk back and forth. And there are some people that like they only exist out in the front, and I feel like you kind of live both. Like you go back and forth, you kind of waffle.
right.
In the
yeah.
past couple of years, you've definitely been very upfront. You don't BS. Like you don't show up and
It's
pretend
not
to
a
be happy
different-
when
no,
you're sad, or pretend to be sad when you're, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what you see is what you get, but it isn't the whole story.
Right.
It's kind of like reading half the story,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit more than half.
Yeah.
Okay. So this person feels like there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that we don't talk about.
True. I would say true.
Yeah, but anything that's like it's probably just more life stuff. Because there's not a whole lot of like exciting stuff that you wouldn't mention on the show, I don't think, or on your Instagram.
Yeah. Like, I don't really talk about, like, what our plans this year on Instagram. I feel like I'm much more open on the podcast, if anything.
True.
Definitely more open here.
True. How's this? You secretly traveled a lot in 2020.
I wish.
I didn't.
I did.
We went to San Francisco in January.
Yeah, that was no secret, and nothing was going on at that point.
Yeah, worked with Adobe, and that's that.
There isn't an instance from last year that I didn't share about.
Right.
Like, we went to Palm Springs twice, and we did our Tahoe trip, stopped in Big Sur. Can you think of anything else?
No, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, Big Bear, too, in February, but that wasn't after March.
You guys never complain about stuff.
I feel like Bargles doesn't. Like if let's say that you worked out and you're like, I think I did something to my shoulder. Like that's the extent of your, you know what I mean? You don't, you don't, you don't, you don't.
There's nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
Complaining is like hanging out in a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, doesn't get you anywhere.
Yeah.
I think that there are so many people, I'd say billions, not millions, but billions with a B, billions of people that are deserving of complaint. I'm not one of them. And it's okay. Maybe one day I will. And maybe one day in the past I was, or I don't know how to phrase that. But no, there's nothing like a complaint. It's a fraudulent complaint. It's not real. It's kind of like saying, well, we all experience pain differently, or we all experience grief differently. But then that's like saying, well, my chicken sandwich was cold, or like my brother's in the hospital. That I'm grieving for both. That's a pale comparison. Like it's not right.
Well, yeah.
My life is the chicken sandwich. Am I going to complain about that when I see? And I know people personally that they have to go through a lot more. And I also know this. We have more to go through. Mm-hmm. And if I'm complaining now about what's going on in our lives now, then I'm setting myself up to really get full of pain and full of hurt in the future when life comes knocking, and it's not a friendly knock. It's a smack you down. And I've had some smackdowns. I've had some friends that are no longer here. Maybe that's part of my perspective too.
Yeah.
It's my own perspective. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm 100% with you. I would say that, like we say, once a month, we can get into a little thing. I feel like I will vent to you about certain things. I mean, everyone has to have those moments where they just like, we go back and forth with each other about certain things sometimes. But complaining, I'm kind of like, I feel like maybe sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, but it's not extreme, you know?
Right. I mean, and we can go back years and years when when we had to borrow some money, like about $20 to be able to pay our rent, which is a story that I'll always remember fondly.
Yeah.
We had to ask it from like the neighbor that we liked the least and like had a bad relationship with, and he was probably selling drugs. That's why I knew he had cash.
He freaking stole my bike.
Yeah. I don't think that's probably all that was stolen or whatever. But at the same time, we needed $20. I knew he had it. I saw him. He gave it. We needed to pay rent within an hour, else we were going to get like a $60 penalty and be even more worse off. So when we were in that world, I remember we were complaining and griping about anything. Mm-hmm. Like I was complaining about work all the time, coworkers not doing their jobs, or how much money I was getting paid, for how hard I was working, or my commute. Or
I would do the same to you because I was in the thick of it with like different jobs while I was trying to freelance.
Right.
And it just, I feel like the older you get, the more you learn. Therefore, you learn to either say no or not care about what people think as much. Therefore, you live a happier life, and you can, you know, the older you get, I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm just saying, like, you learn more. Therefore, you treat yourself better, so on and so forth.
Right. And also, on top of that, and I've kind of already said it, but in other words, is the magic of complaining is, it's like powerless.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything.
Yep.
I think, oh, well, what about getting your feelings out and sharing your concerns and putting your perspective out there? Book. I think that's all well and good.
With your loved ones.
But again, it's kind of like, think about where you're going with this. This is something that I need to do.
They're all smart enough to know the difference.
No, what I'm saying is, like, you're starting a conversation or you have a perspective, and you're on first base and you're trying to get home. Well, what does home look like to you? What point are you trying to convey? What sort of resolution are you trying to get with the person or with yourself? And just get there. Yeah. Because a lot of time we kind of do this dance all around, and it's like we make the little thing into a big thing, or we make a big thing into a little thing.
I make the little things into big things. Like I got a parking ticket for not backing into a spot.
Oh, that'll set you off.
Which, like, I found it, and I was $60, by the way. Freaking ripped me off, Oceanside. So I didn't, and it's, you know, it says it on the ground of the spot, and your car covers the words.
It was like 10 o'clock at night, though.
And it was late, and I wasn't even, literally could not have been less on my, like, I didn't even, this is not normally me. think I've gotten 2 parking tickets in my life.
No, let Arielle's parking ticket be just a reminder and lesson that cities do not care about.
No. Dude watched me get out of my car.
It's a racket.
I was running a 5-minute errand. I was literally dropping off something for someone at their building, and I was talking to them for 5 minutes. I came back and I had a ticket. He watched me.
And you're not the only one he's going to get that night.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, I called Bargles right when I got in the car.
Sounds like you're starting to complain about something.
I know, I'm just telling the story because this goes full circle. So I called Bargles right after, and I said, "You would not believe what just happened." And from my tone, he was like, "Are you okay?" Almost like I got in a car accident or something.
Yeah, you were reacting like it was a car accident.
Right. And so I was like, "No, I just got a freaking $60 parking ticket for not backing into a spot, which I've never even heard of in my life. Like,
I'm immediately
relieved.
relieved.
It's my fault for not doing it. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I take full responsibility. I paid for my ticket. It's over now. But you, to your point of like, what does it take to get back home to your centered self? Took me about 15 minutes.
Took way longer than 15 minutes, Bob.
So from the time I drove home in 5 minutes, and then I'm going to say complained about it to you.
There's tears.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had to go on a
I was not having
you had to
a
go
good
on a
day.
trip all the way to frickin' Mordor and back to the Shire, and it's totally normal. Totally normal. I'm not saying that you had an irregular or even irrational reaction. What I am saying is that the reaction compared to what happened is overblown.
I agree.
And that's totally normal.
I'm just
totally can
okay,
happen.
I'm
But just to if you had been able to be like, okay, can I pay money to make this problem go away? $60. $60 sucks. Having to pay.
It's like a sucky amount.
Yeah.
It's
a perfect amount. It's a perfect amount.
It's the perfect amount to piss you off,
Right.
and it's, I think the bigger point to me was how silly the mistake was. It's such a it just drives me nuts.
Yeah. Well,
anyway.
we'll disagree though, because
Yeah.
I don't put the ownership of that on you. I put it on you, City of Oceanside, for taking advantage of people during a pandemic at night when you have stay-at-home orders. It's like, where else do you want them to park? Anyway, moving on.
No, it's my fault. I should have looked carefully.
This next section of assumptions is all Bargles related, baby.
Oh, I love it.
Your Bargles related
I
assumptions.
answer?
People use the word Bargles. That means I zoom in and
Sure.
yeah. Why don't you answer all these?
Okay. I'll tell
you
you
know.
what I think, and then you tell me if it's
We
right.
spent every day together in 2020
Right.
except for 3.
Yeah, I
There
went
are
to Zion.
3 days that we
That was
were
it.
apart. So someone says, new here.
Okay.
What's Bargles' job?
Bargles' job, as of October 2018, is to run the print shop. That's the first thing. I think usually the first thing you do in the morning is check all the emails and make sure that we're like up to date on everything, and we kind of have like a heads up meeting and you run me through what's going on. And then the second thing is that you do customer care and you manage the print shop and deal with our distributors and make sure that everything is like running smoothly, which is a daily operation. And then 3 would be you run this show, you produce everything, you set up everything, edit everything, and make sure that it's up on time and looking good. And then you also help me with all of my brand partnerships and correspondence, and make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do on a daily basis. Am I missing anything? And you keep track of all of our finances and all of our jobs.
That's way more than if I was answering the question, I wouldn't have even had all that to say. So thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Bargles used to have a desk job, 9 to 5, and you quit to work with me, which I'm overly grateful
There was
for.
one project where you needed a second shooter, which I've
Yep.
done second shooting. I've shot weddings with you, going back, 10 years ago was when we shot Chase and Dietrich's wedding, right?
That was not 10 years ago, but it feels like it.
7 or 8 years ago. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long
and at
time
the
ago.
time, I'm working at a hotel full time, and then I'm part time, on weekends shooting with you sometimes. So I'm always been shooting with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we shoot everything together, and you need a second shooter for a lot of
And
things.
we planned on it. We made sure it made sense financially, and up until that point, we knew that it would be okay. So that's the answer.
I don't miss working in an
I
office.
know you
There are
don't.
things about it, because I
You like getting out of the house.
I love getting out of the house. I love an office because I'm good in an office. I'm a good office cheerleader. Rah rah rah! Let's get everyone hyped up.
We should have a show called
fun.
Bargles Office.
And I like getting dressed up.
I know.
I like getting dressed up in a collared shirt and looking better
do.
than everybody, and wearing a nice sweater.
Bargles.
Well, even on casual Friday, I don't care.
All right, what's next? Casual Friday.
It seems that it never seems like Bargles is home when you're doing stories. Where does he go?
That's so funny to me.
I'm just always hidden.
I didn't see that one.
I'm just always hidden in some corner of this 500 square foot house.
Right. I'm usually on the Chase Lounge chaise of the sectional, and so behind me is just wall. And usually I'll be like, right, Bargles, like in my story, and you like yell, and you're like, yep.
Yep.
So I'm a big
yep.
I never even thought about that.
Bargles is always willing to help with anything.
I would say.
I mean.
Yeah. If
I
ask you, here's the thing.
Right.
You are, period. But if I ask you last minute, which isn't fair, you are a little thrown off because you do have kind of a mental schedule for yourself of things that I don't do or look at.
See, I look at it like I am always willing to help with anything. And that's not just with you. Mm-hmm.
It's making dinner, it's cleaning up, it's...
Well, no, it's also like if any of my friends or anything, family asks me to do anything, then I'm there.
Shirts off all the backs.
Yeah, I'll give you the shirt off my back. Now, if you come to take my shirt off my back, then that'll be the last shirt I ever give. Mm-hmm. I will forgive you, but I will not forget.
Oh, and that is a sign.
That's right.
Okay.
Bargles is the organized one, and you are the messy one.
Yeah, so much so. Remember my little freak out I had the other night about being so messy and I didn't know how to control myself, and it got the best of me?
It's so crazy how this has become so much truer than I even could explain briefly on the show. I've not always been organized, but I've become over time very organized. I also do not make messes. I do not make them.
Not just physical messes with stuff in the apartment. I also think about the spreadsheets that you make for our personal finances and for the business.
Well, that's really just to keep my Excel literacy.
That's being organized, though.
Right. That's like some habits from the office that I can't.
Some people don't do that, and I think they wish that they did. Or wish that they knew how to make a spreadsheet.
Yeah, keep it simple, and then it stays simple. How about Bargles is extremely easygoing. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm easy like a Sunday morning. Like that song from Lionel Richie.
You're the best husband.
Yeah, I'd say extremely is the operative word. Easygoing almost to a fault.
Yeah.
Like I could be less easygoing. I could be harder going.
Nothing really annoys you. Like you don't.
I get very passionate and opinionated, but not about politics or religion or relations or cultural. Not about any like important topics. I get passionate about like, is that the same Baby Yoda doll from episode 2? Looks like they messed with. They get the ears look bigger. I don't know. Just.
But like, if something annoyed you, like if you ever like, let's say you got a parking ticket, you would not come home and be genuinely pissed. No. You're never genuinely pissed. You're never annoyed. You're never like
I would turn it
over
into,
the top mad.
I would turn it into like a performance moment where I'd come home and be like, "Can you believe this? Can you even believe this?"
That was me.
The Duke of San Diego County of York has bequeathed me I must pay this taxation for my careth that parketh. Another one here is Bargles doesn't like country music.
No, he does not.
I don't.
Bargles likes
literally every other kind.
Soul, hip hop, underground hip hop.
Well, I like all music, and I just don't.
No, you like all of it.
You know, I respect some country music, like the older stuff, the Hank Williams of the world, and I do see the hybridization of like the outlaw rock I got into for a while, like the Lynyrd Skynyrd's of the world. I wouldn't say that that's country, but it's very countrified.
Right.
So some people are like, oh, I hate country, and that's just the beginning and the end of it. I think that's weak. I tried. I listened to a bunch of country music. I appreciate the storytelling. It's just too slow.
There's different variations of it too.
Like Taylor Swift used to have some country
Yeah,
stuff.
I appreciate what they like. I'm not I'm the same way.
Right.
I just don't. It's not my thing.
No.
But
I'm
okay.
I rest my hat on old school R&B, and when in doubt just put on some Sade.
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong.
So
with
how
Sade.
how about Arielle does the cooking and Bargles does the cleaning?
I made dumpling soup last night.
What's the answer to this question?
They said I
Arielle
cook and
does
you
the
clean.
cooking, Bargles does the cleaning.
Swap it.
Swap it, and you
Bargles cooks, Babels cleans. Okay.
and we want to go with that.
Because I would say that we equally take care of the apartment.
It's a different question. You're changing the narrative.
It's all, but I mean,
Nope, you're changing the narrative. Taking care of the apartment is not cooking and cleaning. We're talking about cooking and cleaning, and this probably means like
Here.
dishes.
let's say
We know some people. I cook, the other person takes care of the dishes.
I couldn't.
It's okay.
Whatever works for other people, as long as it works for them, that makes me happy. But I don't know how to do that with you.
We're gonna have a fight after this.
Yeah,
episode.
absolutely.
So, appreciate who wrote that in for giving us something to talk about with our voices raised later, and we'll give a notice to our neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
The podcast was Bargles' idea.
Uh,
I don't know.
how do you answer that?
I don't know.
I came up with the name. I had a list of names.
I remember we were on a walk over
And
2
I
years
said
ago, and we're going through a bunch of names of the show, what the show could be, this and that or this, blah blah blah. And I remember saying to you that, oh yeah, that one's good. I'm all about it. And oh, how about that one? Oh, that one's good too. I'm all about that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept on, and I don't know why I kept using that turn of phrase.
Right. You do still,
then-
and
but
you
then-
did before we even thought of any podcast.
I think we realized while we were talking about it, we kept using that turn of phrase, and we're like, why don't we just call it all about it? And then it's like, well, what is it? And it's like, well, it could be anything. And then also it's got the word tit in it.
Right. If you
So
look
all
at our
about
handle,
tit.
all about tit.
So that's really why
Right.
it happened. I think we got equal idea.
Yeah.
Equal idea.
Yeah.
You get the idea of the name, but did you have like, oh yeah, let's do a podcast?
I remember being like, the concept is going to be that it can be about anything, and each episode is going to be all about blank.
Yes.
That was my idea.
But my idea was I was going to bring back Kicking It Tough.
Right.
And I was going to have you as an occasional guest. And then I was like, well, that seems kind of lame. I want you there the whole time.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, if I'm going to be there the whole time, it's got to be a brand new thing.
Yeah.
And that's
okay.
That's like we're in an elevator and like just should we even do it? And then
Yeah.
it's like, cut to 2 years later.
Totally.
And so we have one more Bargles
Okay.
one, and then we have a couple questions. Some of Arielle's prints were actually shot by Bargles. Ooh, the
No one's
QAnon
ever-
conspiracy theories are flying now.
No one's ever said that before.
I know I have. I've said it. I've been saying it since July of 2017. Some of those pictures look familiar. And
Oh
I was
my God,
and I was
it's
there.
Not true. It's
I
not
was
true.
there.
You were there for some of them, but it's not true. You were there for all of any Positano print. You were right next to me. Some of the Oceanside ones, like Delta.
I'll take credit for one print, and I won't even take full credit, but I am going to
What?
take 50% credit of your Simone print because
yeah.
because I was taking that same picture on my phone, and you're like, that's such a cool idea for a picture, and you got right next to me and you took the same picture, and I'm looking at you going like, yeah, damn right,
We'll put it up on the screen in case anyone wants to see.
I'm like, oh yeah, you like what I did with the little flowers there in the foreground and then the little church thing in the background, the little chapel. So I'll take 50%.
Sure, I agree.
I'm
I'll have
waiting
to
on.
agree.
Hopefully, I'll see some of those royalties.
Absolutely not.
And then we have two questions. I think both of these questions, we could take a full episode for each question.
Okay.
And
what?
and maybe we will, because there's so many more nuances to these questions. But why don't we just try and
Bang them out.
bang them out?
Sure.
Question number 1. How'd you meet? Let's go.
The bird swooped in over the chair.
How did you meet?
Through a friend, Melissa.
Melissa the Pissa. I have a friend named TJ. Haven't really spoken to him in a while, high school buddy.
Yeah.
And we used to hang out more often. I'm sure everyone can relate. And he had a little sister named Melissa. I met Melissa through TJ. And then through Melissa, she was in Girl Scouts with Arielle from Once Upon a Time. You've probably seen some of the old school footage of when they were kids on the Instagram. If not, I highly encourage you check it out. And then we met when you were visiting once, and we went on a date. That's a little foggy to me, but
The first time we talked was on AOL Instant Messenger.
Right, and I remember talking on the phone.
Yeah, we got each other's phone numbers.
I remember talking, I was outside Hartman Park, and we were reminiscing about Hartman Park in Redmond, Washington, and how they had really good curly fries.
So
back
at
in
the
day.
time, I was living in Carlsbad, which is right by Oceanside, which is in California, and he was living in Washington State still.
Right.
So we were long distance. We got together.
That's how we met. Okay.
Yeah, that's how we met.
Done. Rest is
Mutual friend.
Rest is her story.
Her story.
And finally, are you scared at all that Instagram will go away and you will be out of a job? That sounds like it's for you. I'm gonna let you roll with it.
Instantly, no. I've always felt that way.
So you're not currently scared.
No.
Okay.
Nothing about the internet or being online
So
is scary.
Let's agree, sake of argument, Instagram is going away.
Okay.
I personally, I don't see data to support that. I actually see the opposite.
Yeah.
That the user base is growing, and the amount of like commercial money that's going into it and being funneled through it, it's forming its own economy, and that economy is worth more money year over year. So if it's worth more, then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy of more users.
We keep our finger on the pulse with like technology news and social media stuff. I read about it all the time, and I'm not going to say one way or the other that I know what's going to happen or when. But I have a lot of faith in what I've been building over the past 10 plus years. I started out doing what I'm doing before Instagram started. So I have a lot of faith that like we would make it work no matter what. I already have ideas, whether they come to fruition while we're still doing Instagram stuff or after. We're not going to do it forever. I don't know if I want to do that forever. And I'm talking about like brand partnerships. And by forever, I mean like 40 years from now.
I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
I think
all I know is that I'm having fun right now, and I'm focused on the present with what's happening right now.
That's all you can hope for and do.
And I love and appreciate my job so much. I have no words.
Instagram going away is like a troll under a bridge, and we don't know when we'll come to that bridge.
Right.
We know that it is eventual. It is, but I don't know. I actually don't know if it's eventual.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's probable. I don't know.
It's kind of exciting.
Yeah. I was going to say, replace the word scared with excited, because life will do the thing that maybe on face value is the bad thing. It's the thing you're scared of. It's that by the virtue of this question. It's the thing you're scared of. And if you're scared of it, if you work through it and come out the other side, you're better, stronger, faster, all that stuff.
And I will say that before Instagram happened, so I started mine in 2010. I went through art school not having it, not doing anything with it. And then when I started, it was a very like slow build up to what it is now. And things happened along the way that did change my life. I've had so many opportunities because of it. And when I was going to art school and it hadn't happened yet, could I have ever imagined this happening?
No.
So what's the next thing that I could never imagine happening? You know what I mean?
Right. And
you never know what's going to happen.
And even in your tone, the next thing you're expecting it to be positive, to be good. But I don't even expect that. I just know it's going to be different.
Yeah,
and
different.
Different
Yeah.
doesn't mean better all the time.
Totally.
That's like psychotic to think that, wow, life is just, throwing out, these are back to dollar bills now.
Yeah.
At the strip club. It's just like that, getting all the money forever and everything just improves over time. That's how we almost we fool ourselves into thinking, oh, this is how it was. Well, then this is how it'll be. And you could be right.
Yeah.
And maybe you will be right. But the reality of life is so much more complicated than that. And you aren't more deserving than anybody else. Like you and also the royal you. That's why it's so important to just be mindful of today, happy today, and move through today with grace, simplicity, humility.
Yes.
Help your fellow man and woman, help your family, help your neighbors, be good, do good, and then go to bed.
And I will say that although Instagram is a part of our income, like when I do brand deals and stuff like that, and it does help with the print shop, we get just as many clicks, if not more, through Pinterest for the print shop.
Way more.
And presets too. So it's like, it really, like, the way that you see it from one perspective, I would do the same. I would think like, oh, if this platform fell, you would have a $0 income, obviously. But like, we are fortunate enough to do so much more than what's on Instagram.
Yeah, I was gonna say
there's royalty deals, there's separate photo shoots that have nothing to do with the app. It's like, so I think that's what makes me excited, because like there's always something to look forward to with our work and to grow with.
Right.
So,
and we get to work with, whenever we're not maybe feeling the most inspired, we work with people that are inspired all the time.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like we have this cycle of, I don't really know how to phrase it, except always trying to be inspired by something or someone. And there's so many people that we interact with on a nearly daily basis that give us that juice.
Yeah.
Whenever we're maybe a little low in the tank on our own, magic creativity juices, then there's always someone to give us a nice shot in the butt. That's like, hey, you're forgetting a very key factor here. And that's just being joyful and, work hard at it. And there's, on top of getting like work and money and stuff like that, which is all well and good, it's also getting better at the technology, the craft, and there's a lot of joy and juice that comes from just that. And
evolving with it. Like, obviously video is way more important than when I started my page, Right. So if you're interested in more of the money side of our business, we have an episode called All About How We Make Money. I cannot recall.
I need to go back and listen to that, because I don't remember. I don't know anymore.
We'll link it in the description. There's a few differences now. There's a couple new things that have come up since then. Maybe we'll do that one again soon, because I think it was a popular one.
Well, now a new way that I make money is I find shopping carts. Right. I go find shopping carts and I turn in shopping carts, or I go and what else do I not do that I want to say that I do right now? I go and
you strut your stuff.
Yeah, I go find jellyfish on that wash up on the beach, and I repurpose them.
Oh my god!
What? Now you ask me, what do I do?
How do you do that?
What do I do?
How do you do that?
A magician never reveals his tricks.
Oh my god!
I even say that so kind.
I think that is the perfect place to wrap up this episode.
Allez-y. Hey, okay. Well, thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the All About It podcast. We couldn't have gotten through it without you and people just like you. So share this with your friends and family. Subscribe to the show if you haven't already. Like, comment, and review, and what else?
Leave us a comment down below on our YouTube channel. If you haven't checked out the YouTube channel, check it out. And we'll see you guys next week.
Till next time.